I think years from now, we may look back on this event and realize that this is the moment when Housing First went mainstream. We all know that Housing First is about, first and foremost, giving people a safe, stable, and affordable place to live.
It's really a person intervention, one person at a time.
It's changed the way we think here in the U.S. and all around the world.
Eliminating homelessness, but also assisting a person's path toward recovery.
It needs to be based on what works best for an individual or a family who's homeless.
It's about giving people the space and security to overcome trauma, to heal and recover, to remember and realize their potential, and to regain hope and dignity.
I've known Sam since the mid-90s, and we've had many, many energetic conversations.
The funny thing about the social service business, there are some very strongly opinionated people.
We've heard a lot of discussion over the past couple of days, and there's been a lot of thinking and reflection and information about what Housing First means to all of us. And now we have the leaders of this profoundly important movement in the country, Sam and Bill.
Our approach is different. We're homeless guys. Affordable housing people wouldn't take our folks, so we said, screw it, we'll do it ourselves.
We didn't go in thinking about choice of housing. No, the purpose of psych rehab is to figure out what the client wants and get that for them. We ended up at housing because it turns out people wanted housing first.
Jonah Lehrer is the author of a book called Imagine How Creativity Works. And Jonah, he said that one of the most important ingredients for creativity and innovation is to have an outsider's perspective and an outsider's view.
Now, this is going to be a challenge, everyone.
I'm Wolf Blitzer, and I'm here to moderate this debate.
Project-based Housing First, if the structural components of the model are employed, are simply not institutions. We need to get over this.
Just calling them Housing First is a little more confusing than actually helpful.
Would it make sense to start talking about it as what it really is, which is community-based treatment?
If you are doing only community-based treatment without the housing, you're going to have a lot of clinicians looking for housing.
I consider housing to be an integral part of community-based treatment. As Bill says, you cannot do it without it. I mean, should we be saying this package is community-based treatment?
In order to be creative and innovative, we need to be willing to risk embarrassment, to ask silly questions, and we need to leave behind the safety of our expertise.
I was troubled this morning, those who were here, when Mark Johnson basically said, you know, we should expect less money within the HUD budget this year. But there was not much of a murmur within this room when he said that. If we're going to advocate for Housing First, you know, we need to advocate for adequate resources from the federal level to make sure that we can implement it to the scale that's commensurate with the problem that we see within our communities.
In my community, we are being asked to downsize the amount of supportive services because the community doesn't have enough money. That's not right. The community is choosing to allocate its money in other directions. So I'd like to echo John's admonition that we all become much more politically active in this political season. NAEH and the National Coalition
And CSH also
have excellent advocacy arms that I hope every one of you are participating in.
I think we should call this thing War on Homelessness. War gets funded so that we would get a lot of buy-in on the war. And people, you know, we're spending billions and billions on war. Let's have a war on homelessness.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.